Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into the world of NSPIRE inspection standards for the Housing Choice Voucher Program. First, we'll go over the core concepts and inspectable areas of NSPIRE. Then we'll take that knowledge and put it to the test. We're going on site to real properties and using the official NSPIRE checklist to conduct a live inspection. So, whether you're a property owner, a housing inspector, or just curious about how these new standards work, you've come to the right place. Let's get started. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, is changing how the Philadelphia Housing Authority, also known as PHA, must inspect units in the Housing Choice Voucher, or HCV program. While traditionally, units in the HCV program have been inspected under the Housing Quality Standards, or HQS, PHA is now required to use the National Standards for the Physical Inspection of Real Estate, or NSPIRE for short. The standard guidelines under NSPIRE will now be used for all tenant-based and project-based units in the HCV program. The focus of an NSPIRE inspection is the health and safety of your tenants, ensuring that every unit is both livable and secure. Changes under NSPIRE are detailed in PHA's NSPIRE Inspection Checklist Guide. This guide is intended to assist landlords and property managers that serve PHA's HCV families in preparing their units to pass NSPIRE inspection, which is required before any unit can be leased in the HCV program and throughout the HCV family's tenancy. Many standards under NSPIRE are similar or the same as standards under HQS. For example, the outcome of an inspection will still be pass or fail. Generally, inspections will continue to be conducted biannually, but they may be conducted triannually. Inspectors will also inspect most of the same components. However, some things will be different. Under NSPIRE, there'll be a greater emphasis on health, safety, and functionality defects, and less emphasis on condition and appearance defects. Under NSPIRE, PHA will inspect three areas: the unit, the inside for multiple unit buildings, and the outside of the building. There is one significant change to call out. Requirements for smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors have changed under NSPIRE and the Public and Federal Assisted Housing Fire Safety Act of 2022. Primarily, this means that all smoke detectors must now be either hardwired or sealed 10-year battery devices. Also, carbon monoxide detectors are now an inspectable item. Additionally, there are updated requirements concerning where smoke detectors and/or carbon monoxide detectors must be placed. PHA has already begun enforcing these requirements. NSPIRE inspectors are designed to verify that every unit in the HCV program is functionally adequate. That is, the unit has the required rooms as well as the required features within those rooms necessary to qualify as a unit. Operable. That is, all the features of the unit, such as electrical, plumbing, windows, and heating, must function as intended and free of hazards. Hazards would include things like incorrectly wired outlets, malfunctioning appliances, structural cracks, and missing smoke and/or carbon monoxide detectors. That's just to name a few. Note that with NSPIRE, PHA will continue to conduct pre-inspections, initial inspections, regular inspections, special inspections, and quality control inspections. The NSPIRE checklist, which appears at the end of PHA's guide and on PHA's website, gives a full list of items PHA will inspect. These are listed in alphabetical order, and they may seem like a lot, but most are things you would correct before leasing a unit to any tenant. You'll also find a corresponding list of specific types of deficiencies PHA will look for during the inspection. The NSPIRE Inspection Checklist Guide also provides insight into what deficiencies are cited, along with health and safety designations to explain why they were cited. There are 4 categories of deficiencies: life-threatening, severe, moderate, and low. The most important of these is the life-threatening category. Life-threatening deficiencies are those that, if evident in the home or on the property, present a high risk of death or severe illness or injury to the resident. All life-threatening deficiencies must be corrected within 24 hours. The remaining 3 categories are considered non-life-threatening and include severe, moderate, or low deficiencies. Severe and moderate deficiencies must be corrected within 30 days. However, Low deficiencies do not require correction in order for the unit to pass inspection. Now, let's look at the three inspectable areas. The first is the unit, which is the interior components of an individual unit and includes the interior of an individual apartment unit or the interior of a single-family house. This includes things such as the kitchen, bedrooms, bathrooms, and electrical systems within the unit. The inside of a multiple unit building refers to the common areas within the building that are not part of the individual unit. This would include things like electrical systems, gyms, laundry rooms, as well as any other shared spaces. The outside refers to the building site and includes the exterior surface of the building, walkways, parking lots, and playgrounds. This also includes any building systems, such as outdoor electrical and plumbing systems. Now, let's look at the affirmative habitability requirements. These are the details concerning the inspectable areas. The main focus of the inspection is on the unit itself. The unit must have hot and cold running water in the bathroom and kitchen, including an adequate source of safe drinking water in the bathroom and kitchen. Its own bathroom or sanitary facility that is in proper operating condition and usable in privacy. It must contain a sink, bathtub or shower, and an interior flushable toilet. At least one battery-operated or hard-wired smoke detector in proper working condition in the following locations: on each level of the unit, and inside each bedroom or sleeping area, and within 21 feet of any door to a bedroom measured along a path of travel, and where a smoke detector is installed outside a bedroom, is separated from an adjacent living area by a door. A smoke detector must also be installed in the living area side of the door. And please note that if the unit is occupied by a hearing impaired person, the smoke detectors must have an alarm designed for a hearing impaired person. The unit must also have a living room and a kitchen area with a sink, cooking appliance, refrigerator, food preparation area, and food storage area. 2 working outlets, or 1 working outlet and 1 permanent light fixture within all habitable rooms. A permanently mounted light fixture in each bathroom and in the kitchen. GFCI protection for all outlets within 6 feet of a water source. A permanently installed heating source. And please note, units may not contain unvented space heaters that burn gas, oil, or kerosene. A guardrail when there is an elevated walking surface with a drop-off of 30 inches or greater measured vertically. And finally, at least 1 bedroom or living or sleeping room for each 2 persons. Next, the inside of a multi-unit building must have at least 1 battery-operated or hard-wired smoke detector in proper working condition on each level of the property. The inside must meet or exceed the carbon monoxide detection standards set by the Secretary through Federal Register notification. You can also find information on carbon monoxide detector requirements at the website address shown here. The inside must have GFCI protection for any outlet within 6 feet of a water source. A guardrail when there is an elevated walking surface with a drop-off of 30 inches or greater measured vertically. And the inside must have permanently mounted light fixtures in any kitchen and each bathroom. Note that the inside of the multi-unit building may not contain unvented space heaters that burn gas, oil, or kerosene. Lastly, the outside of the unit must have GFCI protection for any outlets within 6 feet of a water source. And the outside of the unit must have a guardrail when there is an elevated walking surface with a drop-off of 30 inches or greater, measured vertically. Now, let's briefly review common definitions used in NSPIRE inspections and on the NSPIRE checklist. Commonly used terms include close. This term is specific to doors. That means the door seats in the frame. Damaged means something is visibly defective in a way that impacts functionality. Habitable room means a room in a building for living, sleeping, eating, or cooking. The term excludes bathrooms, toilet rooms, closets, hallways, storage or utility spaces, and similar areas. Inoperable means the overall system or one or more of its components is not meeting its function or purpose, and this could be with or without visible damage. Missing means that there is evidence that something used to be installed but is now not present or is incomplete. Reasonably accessible means a system or component can be reached without moving obstructions, without dismantling it, or without destructive measures, or without other actions that may pose a risk to persons or property. Secured is a term specific to doors and windows and means the access is controlled. And lastly, visually accessible means that something can be reasonably accessed and observed. Please note, you can find a copy of the PHA NSPIRE Inspection Checklist Guide in the resource section of the owner's portal. Next, let's look at what an inspection looks like using the new NSPIRE checklist.
Looking at the exterior, address is visible. The exterior wall covering has no missing sections of at least 1 square foot per wall. Exterior wall has no peeling paint of 10 square feet or more. Exterior wall components are functioning adequately. Coming up to the entry door, we're looking for if the door opens and closes properly, which it does. We're looking at, is there any holes or splits or cracks that penetrate completely through the entry door, which is not. The entry door frame and threshold is not damaged or missing any components. The entry door seal gasket or stripping is intact. Everything seems to be good. Self-closing mechanism, all intact. Toilet is working adequately. It's secured. Shower, hot and cold water. Draining and functioning adequately. Sink, hot and cold water, and is draining adequately. As you can hear, we have a working operational ventilation fan that works on a light switch. And we have a door that we can use the bathroom in private. Coming into the kitchen, we have a nice electric stove. Everything is functioning as designed, producing heat on the stove and in the oven. Cut it off. Cabinets are functioning as designed. Shelf cabinets are intact. Nice, lovely cabinets. Nice refrigerator. We look in the refrigerator, nice seals, cooling properly. Come over to the sink. We have hot and cold running water. These outlets are within 6 feet of the water source. We got to check to make sure it's GFCI protected. It's working as designed. Let's check the other one. This should be cut off as well. Actually, 2 GFCI breakers in the panel. So we'll go check the panel so we can reset these outlets so we can make sure they're working properly again. Come into this room. We're going to check to make sure the lights are working, the floors are stable, no weak spots. The ceiling and walls, no defects. We're going to check a couple outlets to make sure that they're grounded. Any 3-prong outlets have to be grounded. If not, you can revert back to a 2-prong outlet. We're going to check the window to make sure it opens and closes. Nice slider window, opens and closes, and locks properly. Checking the smoke alarm in this bedroom. There's no obstruction. It's placed where required. Let's test to make sure it's working. It's working as designed. Coming down into the basement, all the treads are intact. Handrails are there. Smoke detectors are in place where required. No obstruction. Looking at this interior wall, we see some holes that are not greater than 2 inches in diameter, and they are not accumulatively greater than 6 inches by 6 inches. So this will be considered a pass. Checking the electrical panel is ready accessible. Let's check for the GFCI outlet breaker from the kitchen outlets, which is right here labeled. Let's flip it, and our outlet should be working properly again. There's no open slots in the panel. Everything is filled, labeled. This is a great panel. Looking at this hot water tank, there's no electrical hazards. We have a BX cable. We have a Romex connector. Looking at the temperature pressure relief valve, we have a discharge pipe that's no greater than 6 inches and 2 inches from the floor. And the material that's used for the discharge pipe is sustainable. Coming into a nice cool home that we're doing a pre-inspection on, checking the HVAC system. Everything seems to be draining properly, no leaks. No sweating, nice and sealed. Copper's protected, pipes protected, and a nice vented closet. Any sleeping rooms located from the 3rd floor to the basement needs a second means of egress, which this bedroom in the basement has 2. We come out in a hallway. We have an opening here with a ladder that reaches up to the ground level, whereas though you can walk on out to go around the front of the building. Checking the elevator to make sure it's operable. The cab is fully level with the floor. The safety edge device is working as designed. Exit sign is displayed and illuminating properly. Exit door self-closer is functioning adequately. Continuing with the inspection of the common hallway. Going into the trash room. Area is clean, free of debris, no infestation, no pests. Area is good for the tenants, no visible hazards. We're good. Coming into the laundry room for the tenants, for the residents of this building. We have an electric washer, a gas dryer. There's no hazards in this unit as far as the tenants. The dryer is vented properly with metal duct. We have a gas valve over here with a shutoff valve for security purposes. Everything's good here. Here we go with a fire extinguisher. We have an updated inspection tag. We have a proper reading of the gauge, and it's properly mounted to the wall throughout the building. Continuing to inspect this common hallway fire label fire door. Self-closing mechanism. There's no holes of any size or any sort that would compromise this door in any type of way. Continuing to inspect the common hallway, here is a sprinkler head. There is no obstruction within 18 inches of the head, and there's no corrosion. This will pass inspection. With NSPIRE, we have to check our utility rooms for our multi-family units. We have our discharge pipes on the hot water tanks, the heaters. Everything seems to be draining properly. There's no hazards. We go over here, check for our meters. We have 1 water meter for the whole building. Everything looks good. Here we are in the senior building. We have a call for aid push button is working properly, and it's higher than 6 inches off the floor. Inspecting the parking lot, there are no potholes that are 4 inches deep and 1 square foot or greater. The exterior dryer vent cover is intact. Sidewalk is in great condition. Nothing is blocked or making it impassable. Foundation is in good condition. There's no cracks. There's no exposed rebar, spalling, flaking, or chipping, and is not infiltrated by water. Inspecting the fence, there are no components that are missing. The door opens and closes and latch and lock, and there's no signs of collapse.
Thanks for joining us today. We've walked through the new NSPIRE checklist, comparing the standards on paper with what we saw in real-world inspections. It's clear that NSPIRE places a strong emphasis on health and safety. Beyond the individual units, we've also seen how the new standards have a greater focus on common areas, the inside spaces. Hallways, laundry rooms, community spaces, and building systems are now a critical part of the inspection. The goal is to ensure that the entire property is safe and habitable for all residents. By understanding this new checklist, we can all work together to achieve this goal and ensure a smooth inspection process.